Did you see your father's ups and downs very closely?
Dad was not doing well at all. From my acting, and then even as a producer, he really didn't do that well. I remember Khudgar's mom just asked Dad that what if the movie does not do well? And Dad was like, I will be on the road. So I and my brother just looked at each other and we were like,
He just announced he's not even directing the next Krrish.
he goes like, well, your brother's directing it. And he started crying. I started crying that, now my brother's actually taking Dad's shoes a bit further. I get trolled from my eyes for the way I look. And they were like, your eyes are so big, you're full of Botox. It used to really affect me. I've done Botox, I've done fillers. If a person wants to do it, it should be nobody's business. I was scared, I was fearful that people will think, I'm mental. I used to keep asking God, why me, why me? I took to alcohol because I was just very, very vulnerable. I used to fall off beds, I used to fall off chairs, and I used to get like marks on my body. I did feel lonely, so I just said, okay, this is the best way to numb my brain. And I just did it. I didn't like myself at that point. That is the only time I can just say I hated myself.
Do you sometimes miss a companion? नमस्ते, आज हम हैं द रोशंस के घर पे टू मीट अ वेरी वेरी स्पेशल गेस्ट. तो चलिए मिलते हैं. Hi Sunaina, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for allowing into your house.
You're welcome.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Before we enter the house,
Yeah.
I really want to speak to you about what home means to you.
For me, home means family. For me, family means togetherness.
Yeah.
Love, unconditional love, support. That is what family means to me.
Yeah. And I can see, just at the entrance, there are these amazing pictures here of your whole family. Everyone's here. And you know what strikes out for me?
Yeah.
This picture, it has a lot of you. And I can see you love dressing up, isn't it?
I love dressing up. Even if I have to go to a mall, I'll be all dressed up.
You were telling me it comes from your grandmother.
My grandmother, she used to love dressing me up in Indian clothes. And that's when my fetish, I love wearing more Indian clothes than Westerns.
Is it still like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd rather wear sarees and suits than wear jeans and...
Yeah, you're looking amazing today.
Thank you.
Let's head inside.
Sure. Come in.
After you. More often than not, what happens is when we as commoners see your life from outside, it seems very flashy and very glamorous. But the attempt today is to talk to you about you, to understand you, and get to know a lot more about Sunaina Roshan. Just outside, we are talking about you dressing up, and you really, really liking that part. Do you have any memory from that time? When your probably granny put together a whole outfit for you.
I remember for my birthdays, she would always dress me up, in that chanya choli with that fake monk tika, with those bangles. So I think that is where from where my Indian style of dressing up came up. That's from where I loved wearing sarees and suits, especially sarees. For me, I love wearing my sarees.
Yeah. Did you have like a Bollywood inspiration? You saw somebody on screen, some actress, and you're like, iski tarah dress up karna.
No.
Were you a filmy child?
I have my own style of dressing, and I don't follow trends. I follow what looks good on me, what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. Were you a filmy child?
Never.
Never?
Never a filmy child.
I'm so surprised. You've been born and brought up in an environment where...
I think, Avinash dad always did not put us in the front because he wanted me and my brother to not see the film world so soon. So we were never introduced to the film world except for the premiere of his movies. He didn't expose us to the film world at all so soon. Yeah, we would go on to his sets. And at that time, we were too even young, not like nowadays kids, to know what is actually happening.
Yeah.
We were too young to even understand anything.
Yeah. But what was those days like when you went to a set? I'm sure sometimes you have those twinkle in your eyes, that you see something and you see a superstar giving a shot and you're like, this is what I want to do. Did you ever have that moment? Did you ever
I
have the
never
ambition?
wanted to come in the movies.
Hmm.
So I never had any of those
Wow.
things. Yeah.
Hmm. Which is the first movie you saw, you remember?
Her dad saw. I think my mother or my parents made sure I saw Waqt, which is Balraj Sahni's movie.
Ji.
And that still remains my favorite movie because, money can come and go in a second.
Yeah.
So never mistreat or ill-treat anybody in life. And don't have that ego, mere paas paisa hai. Because if you've seen the movie,
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't have that ego about money because, and that still remains one of my favorite movies I've seen as a child.
Is it possible to then have a normal childhood? I really want to know, what was your day like? Did you like go to school? Did people in school look at you differently because you were the Rakesh Roshan's daughter?
See, at that time, Dad was not doing well at all.
And from an acting perspective.
Yeah, from my acting. And then even as a producer, he really didn't do that well. And I hated going to school. For me, school meant going to jail and coming back. So nobody really treated us as star children. Never. So we were just treated as normal kids. And yeah.
Why do you say school would seem like jail to you?
Because I hated studies. I failed nearly all of my standards. But then, of course, I've learned, life taught me real life lessons, which I feel are better than just studying through books.
Yeah.
And I proudly say that today, after, fighting, battling so many illnesses and standing up here, that I hated studies.
Yeah.
I flunked nearly all of my standards.
Yeah. You have spoken about battling weight issues in your childhood. And more often than not as a child, like I'll tell you my own thing. I have a lisping problem.
Yeah.
I still do. Even today in comment section, people will come and have all kind of mean comments. So you can imagine when a child goes through that in a boys' school, bullying was a part of a regular day. So yes, I relate with you when you say I hated going to the school. Since you were the elder sister to Hrithik, did he go through bullying because of his stammering issue?
Yeah, he did.
Did you stand up for him?
I was too young to do that. I got married at a very young age. And he was an introvert and I was an extrovert. Yeah, but he did a lot to stop sluttering. And hats off to him. I remember he would wake up at 4:35, do his speech classes and, slowly come out of it. A lot of people, I'm not talking about illnesses, when they're happy times, they're all there together, enjoying. But for us, when we have an illness issue, we come together as a family, we support each other and we come out of it.
I think the first instance happened in 2001 with you. With tuberculosis?
Yeah, with tuberculosis.
Is that right?
Yeah. I didn't know if I was delirious and I didn't know what I had. And when I did my lumbar punch, I just spoke about it on my Insta reel. I didn't know what was happening. And at that time, when I got back my senses, and Dr. Udvadia said, it's tuberculosis meningitis. It freaked me out only for one reason, that people were like, I thought people would be like, oh, she's got a mental problem. I was very, very fearful of that people wouldn't understand what tuberculosis meningitis is. So I clearly remember telling the doctor that don't tell anybody I have meningitis. But I was scared, I was fearful that people will think, I'm mental. So that was the biggest fear I faced initially in the hospital. But then as I started getting better, it didn't matter to me. Because you know how people are.
Yeah.
Some of them are, even if they're educated, they just want to term you as mental or anything like that. So I had a few friends who came to visit me in the hospital and they saw me lying in bed all fragile. And they just told me, you're fine. I don't know why people are saying you're mental. You're absolutely fine. It's just that you're weak. So then, with slowly, when people started coming to see me, my friends, that gave me the confidence that, yeah, it's okay.
It's so surprising, right? That people look at illnesses with such micro lens.
Yeah. Oh, my father, I remember, was shooting for a movie which I don't remember back then. I think he was editing for that movie. He would leave his edit, come to Beach Candy morning and night, and just see how I was. And I couldn't take light. I couldn't take light at all. So the minute he saw in the evenings that there was one light, he wouldn't even call the nurse. He would just go and, like put a plastic sheet that my daughter shouldn't have the light. She should be okay. But then that also taught me one thing at that time, when I was still in bed recovering from tuberculosis, meningitis, that tough times don't last.
Yeah.
Tough people do. So trust me, after that, I just feel I'm the tough person.
Yeah.
That phrase has remained within me, that I'm a tough person.
Yeah.
The tough times will go.
So Nana, sometimes these tough times also have an impact on our mental well-being. How we look at the world perceiving us at this point in time. Did you have that struggle? Did you feel your mental health was taking a toll? Because probably people were not understanding your state of being.
See, for me, my anxiety started way back when I was married. And I don't want to discuss that right now. But, I just feel, from my perspective, when you're fighting an illness, your mind is also fighting the body.
Yeah.
So it's once you finished fighting your illness, that's when the symptoms of anxiety and depression come out, because your mind, your body is done with fighting the illness.
Yeah.
When you're fighting the illness, everything is diverted to getting yourself better. So after that, the impacts are there of panic attack or anxiety.
I think it really takes a lot of guts to come out and speak about your vulnerabilities in public, especially when you're a public figure. I'll dig deeper into it also. But before we move on to the other part of the house, I want to talk about this part. We are sitting on a dining table.
Yeah.
Are you a foodie? Are Roshans a foodie?
Well, and Dad, I used to be, let me say that way, until my jaundice, big time foodie.
Yeah.
And Dad, a big foodie. Dad still is a foodie.
Yeah.
But Mom and my brother were like, okay. And the day my brother does not shoot, like my mom always says, if he wasn't an actor, he would have been in the Guinness Book of World Records of being the fattest man.
He loves food so much?
Yeah.
So when did you guys move into this house, you remember?
About in the year 2001 or 2002.
So it's been 24, 25 years now?
Yeah.
What was your time like? I remember there was a time you all lived in a small house. And
yeah, right across the street. And yeah, that was the first house I think Dad bought after staying in a rented house. So it had a lot of value and a lot of meaning. But then as the family grew bigger, Dugu got married. So we just shifted into this house.
How big was that house?
It was a very small house.
Yeah.
But it was very cozy because, the rooms were very, very close. So there was a lot of interaction going on.
Yeah.
So it was really fun living in a joint family.
Yeah. Yeah. But so when you all shifted to this house, were you included in the interiors? Did you plan it, or did you plan your own bedroom? What was it like?
I planned my own bedroom, yeah. But it was Mom, Dad, and at that time Suzanne, who did almost everything.
It's a very classy house. The moment you get in, there's a feel of, I can see, the chandeliers and the color of the sofas.
Yeah.
There's blue and there's maroon. Very well thought of.
Yeah, because, our family is very simple. And we just wanted to do it the very minimal way.
Yeah.
Not something that's flashy or over the top. I think, what you are as a person, it comes out in the way you do up your house.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you guys host a lot of parties here also?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah. What are these Bollywood parties like?
I've not had a friend from Bollywood ever.
Oh.
Yeah, I've always been outside the Bollywood thing. Yeah, but Dad has a lot of parties. He used to.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of parties when I used to be a party animal. till I didn't start working for Dad. Suzanne and Dugu had a lot of parties.
Wow.
So yeah.
For their friends.
Yeah.
You didn't have friends in the business at all?
No, not at all.
Even as a child?
No. I was never, I don't know, I always preferred friends outside for some reason or the other. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I've heard these amazing stories about how there used to be Bollywood parties where you all used to go dressed in fancy dress outfits.
Oh yeah, that was, when Dad's group, which consisted of Jeetu uncle and Prem Chopra uncle,
Rishi Kapoor.
Their kids were too young.
Yeah.
And Amitabh Bachchan's kids, we all were like this one group. And that was the only places where we were allowed to go to.
Okay.
And travel with. So yeah, we used to do a lot of fancy dress.
Yeah.
And those are the days, Avinash, I really miss when you had a birthday party at home, a simple birthday party at home with just, chips, sandwiches, and those small rasgullas.
Really?
Nothing fancy.
Birthday parties for us also, they were like this only. One samosa, some chips,
and that's it.
one rasgulla.
And now today's birthday parties are on another scale.
Yeah, they are elaborate.
They were just had like 5, 6, and a small little cake, like a kg cake.
Yeah.
And it was so organic, and I really miss those days.
Yeah. Were you like the dancer types in one of these? Did you take a center stage? I know Aditya Chopra, Hrithik Roshan would always be at the center
Farhan,
dancing. And Farhan and Ekta Kapoor also.
Yeah. I was so bad in dancing.
Yeah.
And when I decided to do for my brother's birthday the dance, and I was like, okay, I was very scared of being judged. But I just said, you know what? I don't care. I'm doing it for my brother.
Yeah.
And that is all that matters to me.
You remember this performance? What was this performance?
I did for his 50th birthday. I actually called up Bosco and I said, I want to do some steps from Sher Khulya. And I said, I don't know how I'll do it, but I just want to surprise him. And I just did it.
How did he react?
He was blown away.
Wow.
He was like, Didi, can you do it for me next year too? And I was like, well, please release a movie next year and I'll do it.
Yeah. He should be releasing movies very often. He's so choosy about work any which ways. I can see these amazing pictures here also.
Yeah.
That's you?
Oh, well, that is Dad and Dugu.
Yeah.
This was, I was in the rehab at that time when Dad had cancer.
Yeah.
So I really didn't know. So that was Dad and Dugu working out just in the morning before going to the hospital for Dad's surgery. Then that's me and Mom.
Yeah.
And that's my nephews with my brother and father, of course.
Yeah.
Then that's the three of us, me, my mom, and my daughter.
Yeah.
That's my daughter again. And it's just like...
That's Suranika.
Yeah, that's Suranika.
Yeah.
And this is like Dad's thing. He's a very house-proud person.
Yeah.
Either we picture hona chahiye, udhar we. So this collage, he's done.
It's looking so nice,
Yeah.
Once you enter the house, you feel somehow a part of the family. It gives you that feeling. And I see the dogs also.
Yeah.
Are kids close? Ridan, Rehan and Sudanika?
Yeah, they're very close.
Yeah?
Yeah, in fact, she's the elder sister.
Yeah.
Just
so like you are to him.
My brother's always been the elder brother to me.
Really?
Yeah. He's never treated me like an elder sister. He's like, he's always been the elder brother to me.
He's been protective of you.
Very protective. Not now, of course.
Yeah.
But earlier, very.
Yeah. That's how brothers are, no?
That's what brothers are, yeah.
They're there to protect their sisters. It's very sweet. This is the card room.
Where my father loved to play his cards. And they just do it to pass their time. He's got his friends that were like about 40, 45 years old. I mean, years old in the sense, years back. And they just played just to meet up. And yeah.
You've been a co-producer on Crazy for
Kites
and Kites.
Yeah. And not many people know for the Krrish 3, I was also an AD. And it was a tough AD for me because I was given the job where I had to call the stars out. And I hope you know what the task that
Of
is.
course.
From one hand, the ADs are like, the stars are doing the okay, 5 minutes. From the other side, the ADs are like, we need them fast. So you're so stuck.
Yeah. But Star is your brother.
But everybody made a star. Everybody has nataks on the sets.
But he's your brother, so I'm sure you can go on the knock on the door and say, "Chalo, chalo, Papa गुस्सा हो रहे हैं." नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है.
And I don't have a habit of doing that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I remember once we were shooting at Ramoji Rao, Hyderabad, and the sun was going down. The sun was about to set, and it was Jagu's first dance after a long time. And then I had my two main ADs. Get Hrithik out of the van, get Hrithik. And he was doing his stretches for his back, everything. So he was taking time.
Yeah.
And I was like, on one hand, being scrimped at. And then I'm like, okay, 5 minutes. Then he's walking out of the vanity van. And then he forgets. I'm like, he's out. He's walking towards the set. And he forgets to do one of his stretches. So he has to go back. And that was the day I did not go to the location where we were shooting. And I was sitting in Dugu's van. And I was crying and crying and crying. And when he came back, he's like, why are you crying? I said, Dugu, I've been screaming at since morning. Okay, because of, the sun setting. Yeah. And he just told me, well, you're an AD. You have to learn to fight it by yourself. I'm not going to help you out. Yeah. Yeah. That's also motivation enough. Yeah. So I knew, but they had nobody to support me, but. Sure.
Was it the same set where you also met with an accident?
No, that was the first Krrish.
Okay.
This was Krrish 3.
That was in Singapore, right?
That was in Singapore, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But as a sister, were you with him at that time?
No, I was in Bombay. And Dugu Dad was there.
In Singapore?
Yeah. And Suzanne was there. And I think, I don't know if Mom was there or no. I don't remember, but I was definitely in Bombay.
Yeah, yeah. Do you miss being on film set now?
No.
No?
Actually, I'm enjoying what I'm doing over here. So, and Dad is kind of retired.
Yeah.
He did give me an option to help him for the legacy of the Roshans. But I'm like, I'm done with being on the sets and,
Yeah. Yeah, he just announced he's not even directing the next Krrish and he's giving
my brother is, and that was the time
it was bittersweet for all us fans also that he's not directing it.
Yeah, but for me, when Dad just came down like one day before announcing it, he's like, I'm coming down. I'm like, for what? I probably thought I've done something wrong that he's coming down. And then he's like, okay, I'm announcing Krrish. I said, oh wow, that's amazing. And he goes like, well, your brother's directing it. And he started crying. I started crying that, now my brother's actually taking Dad's shoes a bit further to direct the movie. And I'm sure he'll make a damn good director because he used to also tell Dad when he was an AD to change these scenes and change those scenes. But it's still overwhelming for me to think that my brother is now turning a director.
Yeah.
And it just...
Yeah. I was just getting goosebumps when you said Sir was also crying at that.
Yeah, I've never seen Dad cry. And seeing him cry, I was obviously very overwhelmed that Dugu's turning director.
Yeah.
I had no clue about it. So it was like a complete surprise. And Dad had tears in his eyes. And that's when I started howling. It was a proud moment that Dugu is again turning a director. Yeah. So a very proud moment, but it was still very overwhelming that, okay, now he has taken the legacy even forward, but by turning a director.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do great there also. But before we move on to the other part of the house, I have a feeling you will also be a great writer if you attempt at it.
You know what, Avinash, please don't tell me that.
I have a very strong feeling. My gut says you'll be an amazing writer if you write it.
A lot of people say you should write a book on yourself.
Yeah.
But right now, I'll take my time before writing it.
But it should be on the agenda.
Well, it's not on my mind, but it's on everybody's mind except for my mind
Yeah.
to do it. But God willing,
Yeah.
when the time is right, I may just do it.
Yeah. We'll keep pushing you.
Thanks.
We'll keep pushing you.
People who ever know my story, they were like, you should write a book from every corner.
Yeah.
You should write a book. You should write a book on yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll write. But you never know when and how it happens.
I'm sure, inshallah, it will happen soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to the other part of the house.
Sure.
Very excited to see it.
Sure, come on.
Let's go. I also see there is Ganeshji, there's Shivji, there's Jesus Christ. You know, there's a lot of. Are you guys religious that way?
We
this
are
way.
very, very religious.
So, you know, we were talking about your battles, Sunaina, and one of the battles that you have fought and very bravely fought is your battle with cancer.
Yeah.
You had one of the 10 rarest cases.
Cancers, one of the 10 rarest cancers.
Lymphoma of the cervix.
The lymphoma of the cervix.
Lymphoma of the cervix. When something like this, you know, I was speaking to Manisha Koirala ji. She's also gone through cancer herself. And she told me that when she was going through that time, her parents, her family were there throughout with her at that point in time. But in the night, she could hear them in the other room crying, worrying what will happen to my daughter. There's a two-part question here. One, when you found out that you already fought a major battle with tuberculosis, you already had a battle with the weight loss, then this, did you feel, why me at that point in time? Or why me again?
No, in fact, when I had tuberculosis meningitis, I was homebound, being in the hospital for a month and not getting out of the house for another 4-5 months. I used to keep asking God, why me, why me? And then suddenly that switch happened that, okay, try me. So after that, I've become this, God, whatever you give me, I'll surpass your expectations and come out a winner. So I've never had pity for myself, and I don't like sympathy from people. Those two words do not exist for me. When I had jaundice, I was just asking my mom one day, in fact, a lot of days, that why is God still keeping me alive for what? And then she just goes like, Munna, there's a higher purpose for you to be alive. And rather did I know this was my purpose of God keeping me alive. So
yeah, going out and talking about it.
Going out and inspiring and talking about it.
Yeah. Was it a tough time for the parents?
I'm sure no parent would likes to see the child suffer.
Yeah.
With anything. So for me, it was like 3 death-defying. Jaundice also being death-defying because I had a grade 3 fatty liver, and my BP crashed. So I had all of 3 of them were death-defying illnesses for me, and plus the small illnesses in between, which I also had to fight. So yeah, and I'm proud that I could do that, and here I am talking about my life and hopefully inspiring and motivating people.
Yeah. But we are humans, right? We will always have a vulnerable moment where we would need some kind of a guidance. We would need some kind of a hand-holding and say, okay, I'm there. I will figure it out for you. Don't worry about it. Was that figure your dad or your mom? You told me you're more close to your mom.
No, but at that time, dad has always been my security blanket. And just seeing him, come to the hospitals or at home when I was like bedridden, just to see him, I would be like, my dad is there. So he still is my security blanket.
Did he ever break down in front of you?
No, but I heard he's broken down a lot behind my back.
What role did Suranika play in this time? Because like it is tough for a parent to see their child,
Yeah.
it is equally tough for a child to see their mother go through something like this.
I remember the day I had to go and shave off my hair, and they all were waiting. And then my daughter was the first one, Sranika was the first one to come and tell me, Mom, you're looking fabulous. I like you like this. Don't ever grow your hair. So,
Yeah.
and then she would just spend time with me and, you know, just be there for me in her own way. I'm sure she didn't realize how serious a disease cancer is, but whatever she could do being her age, she did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Did the treatment happen in India or
Yeah,
abroad?
the treatment did happen in India at the car, at the Mahim Hinduja. And just 6 chemos. Luckily, my uterus was not removed. And yeah.
At what point did alcohol addiction then become a problem? Was it a low phase where you relied on it for getting some kind of a support?
I was just going through a very vulnerable stage, probably after fighting, tuberculosis and cancer. So, and I had a lot of more illnesses, like a bad attack of zoster herpes. And I was just tired of, fighting. It was a very vulnerable stage for me where I just said, you know what, I can't take illnesses anymore. I need some help. And alcohol, I took to alcohol because I was just very, very vulnerable. And then after a month or so, I didn't like myself like that. I didn't like myself at times drinking from morning to night or drinking only in the evenings. That's the only phase I disliked myself. And then once my dad had bodyguards, he did everything for me not to drink. But obviously, when a drinker wants drink, an alcoholic wants a drink, they get it. And I was so fed up that I actually sat my parents down one day. I said, find me a rehab, not in India, but abroad, because India, when you pay people money, they'll still get it for you.
Yeah.
It's a very easy source. No matter wherever you are in India, you pay and they'll just get it for you on the slide.
Yeah.
So I told them that I want to go to a rehab. I want to get cured because this is not me succumbing to something like that. But you go through it. Everybody goes through phases like this.
Yeah.
And I'm out. And yeah.
When did you realize one glass was becoming two, two was becoming three? Did your body start telling you? Did you injure yourself? Did you fell down?
I did injure myself. I used to fall off beds. I used to fall off chairs. And I used to get like marks on my body. Not like cuts, but just an injury. Like my skin would turn red or blue. And I have gone through all that. But one or two glasses, once you start drinking and once you're at that vulnerable stage, your body wants more and more each and every single day. And it's a very vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Because once that effect is down, the alcohol effect is down, you get anxiety, you get palpitation, you are dehydrated. So to cover up for all that, you probably drink more.
Yeah.
That, okay, if I drink, these symptoms will go away. So I would just advise everybody not to succumb to alcohol or any substance abuse, because at that minute, for those many years or those many months, you do feel good, but the after effects are bad.
Yeah. When I meant to ask, what did the journey ever get lonely? Did you ever get lonely? Was this that phase which is why you relied on alcohol?
I was going through a very vulnerable stage. I was just tired of, fighting my own battles. And yes, I did feel lonely. So I just said, okay, this is the best way to numb my brain. And I just did it. And I didn't know I would actually turn an alcoholic, as it just happened slowly. And then the body wanted more. So
it's tough, right? I'm sure what you must be feeling at that point in time It
It
kind of.
was tough, not because I was injuring myself.
Hmm.
It was tough because I didn't like myself being that way. But then I was so used to it, I would just drink to numb my brain.
Hmm.
But I didn't like myself at that point. That is the only time I can just say I hated myself
You
being that
remember seeing
person.
yourself in the mirror one of these days and feeling that way?
I never looked at myself in the mirror when I was an alcoholic. Yeah, but falling down, falling off chairs, not being able to talk it's a very dirty feeling.
Hmm.
It's not a good feeling at all. Like I would forget the next morning what I'd spoken the previous night, and that got me really scared.
When you decided to go to the rehab, how did they react? How did your parents react?
Well, I sat them down
Hmm.
and I told them that, Mom, Dad, something I need to tell y'all. Just get me a rehab. I want to get cured. And being in Bombay in India, I won't get cured. So send me to a good rehab. They did a few researches, and they got me a rehab where it's a 28-day course. And I don't know about the other rehabs, but this is like a room like this, and they have like 6, 7 counselors grilling you, grilling you, grilling you. Like
As
I
in-
didn't sleep for 28 days.
Oh, can you explain this to me? What happened exactly? When you say grilling you, what were they doing?
They were just, going on asking you questions one after the other, just taking it all out of your system. We used to we had to have a breakfast by 8 no by 6:30. No perfumes, no sugar, no chocolate, nothing that is addictive.
Hmm.
And this treatment is called the addictive treatment program, where any kind of addictions are treated. And I used to think, okay, a few of those people are my friends, these foreigners, but they aren't your friends.
Yeah.
I thought you can rely on them about talking about one counselor, but when asked upon, they would definitely say what we were talking about.
Can you elaborate on this?
Uh, if I was just talking, we had a separate table
Hmm.
where we couldn't interact with the other people.
Hmm.
And we just say, oh, this counselor really grilled me. He was so this thing and so like irritating. When asked, they would just talk like, oh, she was talking about like this.
Hmm.
So it was tough. No sugar, no coffee, nothing sweet or nothing that is addictive, not even a perfume, because I realized over there that even a perfume is addictive because you feel good after
Yeah.
wearing a perfume.
Yeah.
So nothing is a good addiction.
How did I'm sure at the rehab you also would have your battle, the urge to have a glass. Did that happen there?
No, it
Were
didn't.
you you said you were unable to sleep. What was happening that
I
kept you
was
away from
too
sleep?
I was too tired
Hmm.
of going through that grilling session for 28 days.
Hmm.
For like 6, 7 hours, the grilling session, it was the toughest thing.
Sure.
But it helped me a lot too.
Hmm. Can we name it talk therapy? That something that they were
Yeah, it was a
working on?
counseling therapy.
Hmm.
And and then once a week we had to go to see the horses to see, because they're the closest, their nature is the closest to human beings.
Yeah.
And for me to go next to an animal was scary itself. Seeing a big, like a hefty horse
Hmm.
and trying to pet it was a task for me again, but we just had to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Even rehab, even today in India, is not a very accepted concept. There's taboo around it. People say, the person might be losing their mind. There are all kinds of, perceptions around rehab also. Did you try to keep it away from the public eye, from your relatives, your friends when you were going there, because you didn't want people to make up stories?
See, at that time, I wasn't concerned about, who will know, who will not know. I was just concerned about curing myself and getting out cured.
Hmm. Did
So
it?
I wasn't ever concerned who knew, who didn't, because it didn't matter for me. What mattered to me was getting cured and coming back cured.
Did it completely go away while you were there?
Yeah, it did.
And so now, how do you battle these urges? For anybody who's going through this at this point in time, do you still battle the urge to grab a glass?
I don't have the urge, but once in a while, for me, I'll just tell you a very funny incident. There was a party of the legacy of the Roshans,
Hmm.
and I'm a early sleeper. For me, I don't socialize. I I'm in bed, even if I do nothing, I'm in bed by 10:30. And for me to even go for a dinner like that, I had to go for dad's sake. And I was like, if I can't last, if I don't have a drink in my hand. So on occasions like that, where I know I have to go out, and that also for important functions with my family, with my dad, I do have a drink or two just to fuel me up. Otherwise, I would be crashing at the party itself, like going off to sleep.
But then, is it tough to stay away from it, or does it go away with time? Does this addiction
I don't
actually
have
go
the
away with
urge.
time?
I've never had the urge after coming back from the rehab. And obviously for a year after jaundice. And the fact that I could, eliminate my grade 3 fatty liver today to I don't have a fatty liver anymore, just shows that I don't have those urges to drink.
Did it
Yeah,
go
once
away?
in a while, I do enjoy a glass or two with my friends, but that's about it.
Sure. Sometimes in situations like this, when more often than not, we are not completely aware of the situation we are in, our loved ones, our parents try to stop us from doing something wrong. More often than not, in this situation, we antagonize them. We feel, oh, they are going against us. Oh, that person is not understanding me. Did that happen with you? Did you feel that probably your parents were not understanding you at that
During
point?
my alcoholism phase?
Yes.
Of course they were. They didn't like to see their daughter like this, drinking from morning to night, falling off bed, falling off chairs, and not knowing what she's doing at times. So it was definitely their concern, and that put a lot of restrictions on me. I was not given any money to spend, nothing, but still I used to manage to get. Which I can't even say because dad does not even know how I would manage to get, but I would manage to get. And as I told you again, I sat my parents down and I said, I need to get out. It was my decision and I want to get cured.
Do you sometimes miss a companion?
I don't. Yeah, actually, I do at times. But then today, the missing of a companion my work has taken over that. Like today, I don't think so. Yes, one needs a companion in their lives. But today, my work has given me so much of satisfaction that I don't need a man to make me happy. I don't need a man to satisfy me mentally. It's my work who's doing it for me today. Yeah, but I do miss having a companion. But it's not like I need one. And today's times are scary, so you cannot rely, and I don't want to go back to where I belonged. And today I do feel lonely, especially if I've had like a hard day's work. Somebody just to, hold their hand. But then I have so many people who love me. I just call them up and they're there.
Yeah.
And today I don't need a man to make me happy because I'm happy from within.
Yeah, which is super important.
Yeah, that is super important. I'm like 2 years back when I was, with this guy who I was dating or previously at that time, I was like, I wasn't content with my life. I always needed somebody to be there for me. But today, I love myself, I respect myself. And I think that's when that feeling sets in, you feel complete.
Yeah.
And once you're complete, it's fine.
Yeah. There's no bigger love than self-love.
Yeah.
And it is really true. Once you start loving yourself, everybody around starts.
And today I don't even care if there's a man in my life or no, because I have so many people who love me, so many people who are there unconditionally. And why do you need a man to make you feel whole? Why can't your friends make you feel whole?
Yeah.
Why can't your work, your family make you feel whole? Why is that only a man can make you feel whole,
Yeah.
make you feel complete?
Yeah. Sure. Amir Khan's daughter Ira has this amazing foundation called Agatsu. She does it to promote mental health because she's gone through it.
Yeah.
You've had your own struggles with many illnesses. Is there something on your agenda that you want to do on ground to help people touch their lives, make them feel that you're not lonely in this journey? You have somebody who's looking after you.
Well, I have a lot on my agenda, but I'm just going to take it each day as it comes, the way I did earlier. I did not be, over here sitting and inspiring people and motivating them. Life is full of surprises. So I don't know what my next surprise is going to be.
Yeah, yeah. But there is something on the plan, I'm sure.
There are a lot on my plan.
Hmm.
My plan, I think, towards the end of the year, is doing a TED talk because I'm petrified holding a mic. Petrified of holding.
You're doing
a mic.
so well, I think.
You give me the mic
Ah.
and I'll start shivering.
Hmm.
My hands will start trembling.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm working at
Yeah.
public speaking.
Hmm.
And then you never know what happens again. Life is so unpredictable in a good way and in a bad way.
Yeah.
You just have to be prepared from both the sides.
Yeah. Yeah. You have many tattoos on your hand, very interesting ones. Do you want to tell us about them?
Okay. Well, this is the one of the first ones that I did. What is it? When Mama's and Daddy's girl.
Oh, wow.
Because no matter how grown up I am, I'll still be their little girl.
Yeah.
And then this is a portrait of my daughter.
Oh, Suranika.
Yeah, Suranika. And these are angels, Ganpatis. I basically love angels and Ganpatis. And yeah.
Are you religious or are you spiritual? Two different things, I suppose, isn't it?
I am more religious than being spiritual, but I am going through the spiritual journey too slowly, one step at a time.
What is that spiritual journey?
Meditating. I do meditate a lot, which I never thought I could. They say never in life. Like till a year back, I would always tell people, if I have to meditate, I can't do it.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's very hard.
But now, trust me, if I don't sleep, I have to sleep listening to a meditation, but that puts me off to sleep. There was a time when I never thought I could concentrate even for a second.
Yeah.
But today, 10, 15, 20 minutes, I can concentrate full on. Because the results it gives you,
it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. The clarity of mind is outstanding.
Yeah. And I think gratitude is a must too. Because just being gratitude for everything that you have. Most of us, we all have everything. But just, writing down a gratitude journal really helps. And I think God, instead of complaining to God, मेरे साथ ये क्यों हुआ, ऐसे क्यों हो रहा है, just be thankful to God for what He has given you and for what you have because of Him.
Yeah. Yeah, very important.
That's very important.
Yeah. You put it out in the universe, it comes back to you. I also believe once you're grateful about what you have,
and always
it comes
be
back
grateful.
in abundance.
No matter what you're going through, be grateful that you're alive today.
Yeah.
And that's the best. This thing, I started my gratitude journal by saying thank you that you gave me another day to live.
Yeah. Sure.
So God does not expect anything. He'll probably be tired. ये तो हमेशा complain करती रहती है. She is not appreciating anything that I do, so it's okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, gratefulness is very, very important. There are so many paintings here. Do you paint by any chance?
Well, as a teenager, as I said, the times were different. So I used to do a lot of foil painting, a lot of marble painting. But now, of course, those days are gone where we used to go to these small workshops at teenagers and do these ceramic paintings. Not anymore.
Have you done any of that, Suranika, again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's, I think Mom had one of the painters, and she did her painting, and we all loved it so much that one by one we all got ours done.
Yeah, yeah. That's Suranika.
That's me,
That's you.
and that's my brother over there.
That's Guzarish. I
And
think.
that's during Guzarish.
Yeah.
And I think dad and mama outside.
Yeah. Very nice paintings. Na? I mean, very
This is
alive
mom.
paintings. Yeah. There's a bar also here. Do you guys entertain here a lot?
Dad entertains next to the bar, not us. That's his zone.
Yeah. Sure. And so, do you guys change a lot in the interiors also often these days, or
No.
no? Do you like interiors? Are you into it?
Oh, I love colors. I love doing up my room. But just changing the colors, not the bedroom, it's tedious. You know? And basically, my room was bang opposite my parents' room. So once my brother left, I took his floor up.
Yeah.
So actually redo a little bit of it. But the time it takes to even break something or to paint a wall.
Yeah.
I don't have the kind of patience anymore to do anything. Yeah, but changing the upholstery once in 5-6 years, that's all about it.
Sure. Did you see your father's ups and downs very closely?
Yeah. Not very closely, but I remember Khudgar's. Me, mom, and Dugu, and dad was driving the car. And we were going for the premiere. And mom just asked dad that what if the movie does not do well? And dad was like, I will be on the road. So I and my brother just looked at each other and we were like, we didn't still understand what that meant, but we were like, we'll be on the road. But touch wood, you know, like hard work pays off someday or the other. And the sincere hard work pays off. And then dad started doing well. And then again, for Kaho Na Pyar Hai, he mortgaged everything. He's a risk taker.
Yeah.
Okay, so he mortgaged everything. And luckily, it did well.
It turned the millennium, it brought a new superstar in the frame. Everything
and
changed.
That's what I also admire about dad is, you know, he's a daredevil.
Yeah.
Kuch bhi ho jayega, I will do it. If I have to lose the money also, he mortgaged during Kaho Na Pyar Hai. I remember Khudgar's. I was like really small, really in my teens. I know he mortgaged his house, his office, his cars, everything. So I'm sure it must have been very hard on my mother too.
Yeah.
And on my father too. And not letting the children know. But that's one quality, nothing can break him. You know, I have my tagline says unbreakable.
Yeah.
I think I should be telling that you are unbreakable because nothing can break him.
Yeah.
Nothing can.
But did he ever sit you guys down and spoke about this, that maybe it's a tough time? A tough time could come in the future. Just brace yourselves. Was there ever a conversation that happened?
See, he always taught, you know, his children, me and my brother, to always live below your means. Okay, tomorrow, if you don't have the luxuries in life, I do not want you all to miss it. And, you know, when the mobile phones had just come out and my bills were high, and he would just tell me, your bills are too high. It has to be so much. Otherwise, I'm not paying for it. So he's always taught, even my mom at times and my brother, to live beyond your means. Tomorrow, what if everything goes? I don't want you all missing that life that I had for you all.
Yeah.
So he does not spoil us. And he's very like, anything extra in the house, we don't need it.
Yeah.
Because he's a self-made man.
Yeah.
He struggled a lot in life.
Yeah.
So I know from where his insecurities are coming.
Yeah. He has seen a hard time
A very
in the
hard
90s, especially.
His dad dying, Daduji dying when he was 17, 18, looking out for work, fending for his mother, for his brother.
Yeah.
So I do understand. Earlier, I never understood why he was like this. But of course, now I understand why he is like this.
Yeah. Will he want to direct again?
I don't think so. But with Dad, you never know what he's up to.
Yeah.
And I think he's really worked hard all his life since the age of 17. So I want him to relax, take life easy. And, he's done enough for all of us.
Yeah.
It's time for me, my brother, my mom to be there for him because he's always been there for us.
Yeah. Sure. For you, where's the journey going from here now? What's happening immediately next? What are you working on?
I'm not working on anything else except myself right now. And as I said, let's just take...
You're growing your social media page. You're putting out really important videos on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It started very slowly again, where I started putting on my transformation, not to show off, but just I'm like, everybody's doing it. Even I want to do it. And I started getting a lot of positive, good comments. You're this lady, and, all the good comments. I was like, okay, let me put on a few more. And it never stopped after that. And then I just knew my calling.
Yeah.
A lot of people get trolled also for certain things. But even now, my Insta page, I'm not gotten trolled. I get trolled from my eyes for the way I look, but not trolled for anything else. But you know how people are. They just want to write something because they have nothing else to say. It would affect me once upon a time where they spoke about my, the way I look, but now it does not.
That's none of the business.
Yeah, I was too new to it when they were like, your eyes are so big, you're full of Botox. It used to really affect me. But now I'm like, I really don't care. My work matters more than what I look.
Yeah, and if somebody is going under a knife, it's their call, right? I mean,
Exactly.
Nobody should be judged for it.
Yeah,
especially
and it's up to each
2025.
person.
Yeah.
I mean, who does not? I've done Botox, I've done fillers. And if a person wants to do it, it should be nobody's business to pass any comments.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
Yeah.
And what's the harm of telling them?
Yeah.
And it's evident that everybody is doing it.
Yeah.
So why, say, oh, we've not done it?
Yeah.
But I don't know one person who's not done it.
Yeah.
So just speak the truth and just say you've done it. Nobody's going to judge you.
Yeah. And if you feel good about it, there's no harm.
Yeah, exactly. Today, if I feel good about doing fillers and Botox, why not?
Yeah.
It makes me happy. I'm not doing it to, again, show to the world.
Yeah.
And for me, it started when I lost like about 15 kilos. I've not done anything before that. My face was actually sagging down. It was just like falling apart. So that's when slowly started doing treatments. Just for my skin was sagging a lot. And nobody likes a sagging face.
Of course.
So that's when I slowly got into it. Before that, I never could even go in for a facial.
No, trolling can be harsh sometimes, especially when it comes on looks and all. It's very...
but today I used to get very affected, but not anymore. In fact, recently there was this person whom we know very well, just messaged me on my Insta saying, you need an MRI and a CT scan. And I'm like, I just brushed it apart. And then he messaged my father and he goes like, oh, her eyes are flickering. And I'm like, what up? I mean, are they watching me talk? And they're not even qualified doctors.
Yeah.
They don't even have degrees. Okay, so I was like, are they watching? Do they have so much of time to even watch what your expressions are than listening to what you're talking?
Yeah.
In fact, I just spoke about it in one of my Insta reels that be careful of fake news. Unless you're not a doctor. A qualification anybody can get on online courses. So unless you don't have a proper degree, do not listen to anyone.
Yeah. No, like you said earlier before we started the interview, perfection is boring. Imperfection is beautiful.
Yeah.
And you are amazing.
Thank you.
So Nana, this was a very clear heart-to-heart conversation. I'm so glad that you opened up to me. You spoke to me. You have lovely eyes. That's what we started with in the beginning. And I think you should not really care about what people say.
Yeah,
Be
I
you,
don't
and
anymore.
you're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me be on Pinkvilla and opening up and to inspire people.
Thank you.